Hi, this is Josh Kulp. This is Daf Shevui, Masechet Ketubot. We are on Daf Ayin Daled, page 74 of Masechet Ketubot. If you've gone through the Daf, which I hope you already have done, you will notice that the Machoket, the issue that we're talking about here, is really a continuation of the Machoket, very long passage that began on page 73. About a man who marries a woman or betroths a woman on condition and then has relations with her. And then the question is, does she need a get? Is the marriage valid because he didn't reiterate those conditions when they went to consummate the marriage through sex? So I don't really want to go over. I went through a long discussion last week about this in the video. I don't really want to go directly onto that machoket. Instead, I want to explain a braita a little bit more in depth than maybe I did on the page that comes up on the beginning of the page in Ayin Daled. It's a kasha that Rav Acha Breda Rav Ika raised on Rav Acha Bar Yaakov. I know the names are a little confusing. So he talks about charitza mutet, a mistaken act of charitza. Charitza is the release of levirate marriage, whereby the husband basically says, I don't want to perform my duties to have yibum, levirate marriage with you, and thereby she permits her to marry somebody else. So the Gemara says, kshera, it's still valid. And now we have a problem. What is mistaken charitza? Ezohi charitza mutet. What is it? What is this mistaken charitza? And the Amorim explain this. Amar Reish Lakish, kol shomero charotzra ubekach ata konsa. So somebody who says they say to him, do charitza, and that's how you're going to marry her. In other words, the person has no idea what he's doing, and somebody says by removing the shoe, part of the procedure of charitza, you're going to marry her. He does that, now he says she's released, he hasn't really married her. The problem with that, this is a person who's been completely tricked, but as long as he performs the physical action, it's kosher, the action is kosher, it's valid. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan responds, Ani shoneh bein shenitkavenhu v'lo nitkavnahi, bein shenitkavnahi v'lo nitkavenhu, charitzata psura. Right, if one party and not the other party has kavanah to do the act of charitza, but the other one doesn't, right? So then it's psura. It's not kosher, right? Both parties have to have the right kavanah for charitza to be valid. Ve'atamar, you're going to tell me charitza ta kshera, the charitza's kshera is valid even if the husband has no idea what he's doing. But vadai, obviously, he has no kavanah, he has no intent. Ela amar Rabbi Yochanan, kol she'omero, any case they say to him, charotzra almana shetzitein lach 200 zuz. Do charitza for her on condition that I'm going to give you 200 zuz, and then they don't give it to him. In other words, what's the mistake here? He thinks he's going to get some kind of reward for performing charitza, and he doesn't do it. And the Gemara says, Alma kevan avad maaseh, since he did the act, achure achere tanei, the stipulation has been forgiven, hachanami, so to here, kevan shebaal, since he had sex with her, in the case of marriage after a condition, achure achere tnai, he has forgiven his Tanai. And I think, you might ask, why is the Gemara going on so long about such an obscure situation? It's because I think this Gemara talks about something that the rabbis are often very, very interested in, and that's the relative power of acts versus the relative power of words, right? When we say something, how does that affect the acts that we're doing? When he says, I want to make a stipulation on my betrothal, but then goes acts, he does a physical act that doesn't reiterate and just sort of ignores that statement. Or when he performs, even a better example if you ask me, performs charitza, right? But he doesn't demand that he already had the stipulation fulfilled, right? Does that stipulation annul the act, or is the act in itself the ritual, if you will, be it kiddushin or be it charitza, whatever ritual we're talking about, is that sufficient for the act to be considered as if it was fulfilled? It's a topic that we see come up in Mishnayot all the time. I think it's sort of like, in essence, a metaphysical question about the power of language to affect acts. So that's how I read why the rabbis think that this is such an important topic that they're going to devote 2 full pages and quite a long discussion about it in the Gemara.